This is American Professor Richard D. Wolff, Professor of Economics.
Before I get this lesson started, I want to give double all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rukakodash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from. And a shalom to the elders, or to the elect, the hopeful elect Israelites, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the hopeful elect to the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is your brother Radah with this is a really quick, shameful spewing lesson, just more evidence of how this country was established, on what prophecy says about it, and what's going to happen. Listen to this professor being transparent about how America was established. We'll get a couple of precepts, and then we'll be done.
Listen to what he's going to say. I didn't say it. He did.
You know, you have to remember it. For those of you that are not Americans, try to understand the peculiarity of this society. It is now owned and operated by descendants of Europeans. What I'm about to say should be understood particularly well in Brazil, for example, because there's similarity here. So the Europeans come and they kill all the local people. They murder them. Violent, destructive, ethnic cleansing, genocide, all apply. And it took a century or two in this country, U.S.
Let's get that precept. He steals a man and his heritage. I believe it's in Habakkuk, but I don't. He stealeth a man. He stealeth a man, even a man and his heritage. Let me see. No. That's the other one I want to get. I'm going to get that one later, but let me see. He stealeth a man. He stealeth a man and his heritage. Micah. Okay. I thought it was Habakkuk, my bad. So this is Micah 2 verses 2. And they that covet fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away, so that they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. That's the way a race expresses themselves on the earth nationally. And there's one group of people who are known for doing this in a way that no one else has done. If you look at the Australians, who was in Australia before the Australians got there? The Aborigines. If you look at the South Americans, who was in South America before the British South Americans got there? Same thing with America. Who was living in America before the so-called white Americans called themselves Americans? The Israelites were already living here. So Micah 2 and 2 is talking about Esau, the so-called white man.
To kill them all, with the few that are left stuck on reservations, which is a kind of genocide, only it goes slowly. And so it doesn't offend you so obviously.
And we know by reading 2nd Ezra chapter 13, and we know by studying the Navy, the Navy ship, how can I say it? The patterns of the Navy ships of King Solomon in 1st or 2nd Kings, and traveling to and fro for a year and a half one way, and then another year and a half coming back, a 3-year trip. We know that the Americas, that the Northern Kingdom, the Israelites, came to South and Central America, North America, back in the ancient times, and that the people that were living on America were actually the Hebrew Israelites. We know this now. They were not Indians. They were named Indians by the Edomites to cover over their heritage, to cover over who they did this to. And then the group of people that they brought from West Africa, which was the transatlantic slave trade, those were the Southern Kingdom. The tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, those also were Hebrew Israelites. So Esau has a major, major tab to pay with the Most High that is about to start happening. And America's clueless. The Christian world is absolutely clueless to what's about to start happening to them.
So the country is born in its modern form in an unspeakable violence that is everywhere. Northeast, south, west, midwest. It's everywhere at different times. But The slaughter of the indigenous population is the history of this country in its first 200 years, before and after independence. It's extraordinary. And the next major...
We know that that group of people is found here in 2nd Esdras. This is one of the many reasons why they removed 2nd Esdras, why they removed 13, why they removed the Apocrypha from the original King James Version Bible. It's just one of the reasons. The other reason is 2nd Ezra chapter 11. It identifies the Roman Empire as the eagle, which if you look at some old Roman coins, you will see the eagle on those Roman coins the same way you see the eagle on the quarter, on the American quarter. Today, on the back of the dollar bill, you see the eagle. So we know that America is the revised Roman Empire. And it's the same people. It's the same race of people back in power again. It's the wounded head that has been healed. It's the wound. It's the head that received the deadly wound that was healed, mentioned in the book of Revelations. So this is 2nd Ezra 13. Okay, so let's let's hear. Hold up, let me see if I got the right. Let me see. Yeah, 2nd Ezra 13, right? Let me see. 2nd Ezra 13. I don't want that version. Let me see. 2nd Ezra 13. 2nd Ezra 2, 13. No. See, it's no. 2nd Ezra's. All right. Here we go. Hold up. Let's just do this one. Okay, so I'm going to go down to, I believe it's, okay, it's 2nd Ezra 13:40. Let me be more specific with this. 2nd 13, verse 40. So that way I get it better. That other version's difficult to read. Okay. So these are the 10 tribes. So if you go into, let me see if I can read a couple verses up above 40. Okay. Okay, and so I'm going to start at 36. And Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto, this is like super old English. I know if you guys can see how it's written, this is an actual version of the Bible. This is how it was written, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like unto fire. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered unto, another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanaser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Talking about the South America, Central America, and North America. But they look, because we did a study earlier that King Solomon knew about the fourth part of the earth before the rest of the world did, because he had a huge navy and he had the wealth to travel from the Middle East, or from the Eastern Asia, which is Israel, to this side of the world. It took a year and a half, but he had the finances and he had the fleet to do so, and he had the wisdom to do so. And it was all recorded in the book of the Apocrypha. But they took this counsel amongst themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never man dwelt, talking about North and South and Central America, that they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river, for the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely for a year and a half, and the same region is called Azareth. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come. So this is talking about
phenomena.
these
indigenous population.
These people right here, these were the Israelites, the northern kingdom Israelites, and the Edomites knew who they were. They just didn't tell you who they were in history. Just like they knew the southern kingdom were Israelites that they brought over here to be slaves, but they told you that we were African American or Africans. Yeah, we came from the continent of Africa, but if you guys notice, people from Africa are not called Africans. Africa is a continent with countries inside of that continent, and everybody goes by the name of the country that's inside that continent. Nigerians do not call themselves Africans. Ethiopians do not call themselves Africans. Egyptians, and so on and so forth. Yet we come over here and all of a sudden the white man's telling you that this group of people, we're a bunch of Africans. And we know now that all these lies are coming out about what Esau has done. So listen to this man talk.
Is the history of this country in its first 200 years, to be before and after independence. It's extraordinary. And the next major phenomena is, having destroyed the indigenous population, you took the indigenous people of Africa and brought them here as slaves.
And this is recorded in Joel. Joel chapter 3 records, the transatlantic slave trade and the people that were involved in it. We'll just read it. Verse 1, for behold, in those days, and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, talking about the northern and southern kingdom, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. So Armageddon, the reason why Armageddon is taking place is because of the transatlantic slave trade and what they did to the northern kingdom that was here in America. That's the main reason for Armageddon. Yet Christianity doesn't teach it that way. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Yasharallah, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Talking about the 1948 state of Israel, the Balfour Declaration. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? Those are your Hamites. Those are your melanated Hamites in Africa and all the coast of Palestine. Will ye render me a recompense? If ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, because you have taken my silver and gold. He likens the bodies, the souls of the Hebrew Israelites unto silver and gold, because we're the temple of his spirit, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. And we know that the word Grecians is another word for the Greeks, or for the Europeans, or the Edomites. Have you ever seen that commercial, Grecian formula, talking about white men making their gray hair black again? Well, that's a word for white people. So there goes your so-called black people selling black people to so-called white people. When they try to say, oh, your own people sold you to, no, it was melanated people who looked like us that were Hamites, but we're melanated people that are Shemites. And so Hamites were selling melanated Hamites were selling melanated Shemites to pink and red Edomites, which are the Grecians. And you see it right there in verses 4 and 6, and verse 4, 5, and 6. And so 7, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. So white Edomites have to pay, and so the other nations have to pay for what they've done. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. So they're going to become our slaves, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to the people far off, for Yahweh has spoken it. Let's go back.
And that for a huge part of the country. Remember, slavery existed in New York, in Ohio, all over. not just the American South. The history of New York City is, if you want, where I live in New York City. The history of New York City is full of slave chapters of the importance of slavery in New York City. Okay, a country that is born in genocide and then graduates to become a slave. And we're not that far away from that. Slavery only ended, a century and a half ago, a little more. That's not very long in historical time. This is a country that identified its survival as dependent on mass murder in the not-so-distant past. Wow.
Wow, indeed.
So we know that everything that the Edomites say is blasphemy, right? And we also know, here I put some precepts in the comments. We're going to get Exodus 21:16, Nahum 3:1, and Habakkuk 2:12. So let's get those. Habakkuk. We're going to get it and then we'll be done. Habakkuk 2, Habakkuk 2:2, review the whole chapter, and then we're going to pull 12. Look at this. This is in the Bible. This is prophecy. Woe unto him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. How is America established? How is America built? And so what does the Bible say? Woe to him. What is woe? Destruction and death. So there's nothing. So the so-called white man cannot escape. He can say what he wants to say. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I wasn't here when it happened. You are the offspring of those people. And also, people don't understand how reincarnation works. That it more than likely was them, because every 3 and 4th generation we come back.
It kind of makes you understand.
Hold on, and then Nahum 3:1. We're gonna get Nahum 3:1. Nahum 3:1. Let's just pull. Let me see. No, I don't like that verse. I don't like that version. Nahum 3:1. Let's see if I can get the full chapter. Okay. And then you see verse 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. Okay? So you see that this everything in America, it's all lies, right? And it's full of theft. And then there's another precept, one more.
And why America?
There's one more. Exodus 21:6. Boom. We're going to get it. Exodus 21:6. Oh, I got the wrong one. Hold up.
Is backing Israel so strongly because
Salakia. So, and you see it. So nothing. Everything in Scripture condemns everything that the so-called white man has done to establish America, and everything he has said he hasn't done, or everything he has lied and said he has done. Everything he said that he did was good was a lie. Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Now, what do they say? Well, you're not in slavery anymore. That's a lie. We're still in their hand. What does that mean? In their power. We still live in America. We still speak English. We still have slave master names. We still have to listen to their laws. They can still arrest us. We fill all their prisons. They abuse us with the police. They're constantly getting us to vote for either a Democrat or a Republican, and some white man's always saying what he's going to do for us. What kind of shit is that? What kind of an existence is it where you have the offspring of your slave masters telling you, vote for me, I live a fabulously wealthy life, but vote for me and let me be your leader for the next 4 years, and I promise to give you some crumbs from the table. And so-called black people, Hebrew Israelites, Latinos, Native Americans, they get happy at the idea of some fucking Edomite man getting into a position of power and maybe he's going to throw us a bone. That's been our entire existence since we've been in this fucking country. Meanwhile, they're flooding our neighborhoods with crack cocaine. The police have no respect for us. They fucking hate us, and they're in our neighborhoods just constantly beating the shit out of us. Paramedics don't try to save us. When we go to the hospitals, when we're sick, the nurses don't treat us the way they're supposed to treat us, and we all die in the fucking hospitals. I mean, it's the curses, but it's these people. Okay? So what's going to happen? Let's get some of the punishments, and then we'll be done. Let's just get a few punishments. Let's pull up Obadiah. So Obadiah says a lot of stuff. It points out Esau in the beginning. The whole book, it's just one chapter, is about Esau and his demise. We'll start at verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So the Most High is going to punish this race of people for what they've done to us. They are the biblical Edomites. Verse 11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, and in the day that the stranger carried away captive, his forces and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, and even thou wast as one of them. Talking about the Edomites. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. What does this mean? When we lost our heritage, when we forgot that we were the Israelites, when we no longer knew how to call upon the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, because Esau was telling us about white Jesus on purpose so that we wouldn't call upon the name of Yahushai, teaching us 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, for making pork a part of our diet, and telling us that we're African American, that we're Mexicans, that we're Latinos, that we're Native Americans. Once they subdued us, they re-educated us and told us who we were. We became strangers. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Verse 13. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Talking about going over to Israel and possessing Israel and saying it's theirs and acting like they're us. 14. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. 15. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So this shit that white people think they don't deserve for anything bad to happen to them is insane, because all of prophecy talks about revenge and recompense and payback. Verse 16, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance. What's that talking about? There's going to be deliverance for the Hebrew Israelites. And there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be as a fire, and the house of Joseph as a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. So that just mentioned the northern and southern kingdom being a flame, and the house. Whenever you see the house, it's talking about the race, the family, the seed line, the nation. So the nation, or the race of Jacob, and the nation, or the race of Joseph, which together are the 12 tribes of Israel. They're one seed line. They're going to be a fire, and they're going to devour the seed line or family or nation of Esau, and the house of Esau for stubble. What does stubble do with fire? It gets consumed by the fire. The fire is superior to stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it. It's a future prophecy. This also goes into Look at this one. These are all future prophecies directed at Esau. Isaiah 63. Isaiah 63. And once you read them, look, who is this? Here, just pull up the whole chapter. Look at this. This is Yahweh Shai beating their ass. This goes into 2nd Ezra chapter 13 when he comes back on the UFO, on the chariot. Who is this that comes from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Basra is the capital city of where the Edomites live. So this is a double reference to wherever the Edomites are in possession, wherever their capital city is, which would be America and Europe, also Russia, but this is talking about America. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength? I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save? This is the Most High speaking, Yahweh. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel? Why are you blood-stained? Why are all your clothes blood-stained? And thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. And this is Yahweh Shai's answer. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeem is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. I'm going to take away their rulership. This is violence, man, and this is what's coming for this nation, and this is what is coming for these people, man. Christianity doesn't teach the Bible this way, yet it's all written, and this is a future prophecy. It lines up with Obadiah. It lines up with Lamentations 4:21. It lines up with, I believe it's Jeremiah 50 and 51. It's all over the book. So this was just going to be another quick reference to all the spewing, and what you see this Edomite doing is found here in this prophecy. Their own tongues shall fall upon themselves. He's only doing what prophecy said they would do. It doesn't mean he's a good person because he's confessing the truth. Whenever you watch the first 48 and you see two white detectives and they got a Judite, they got a so-called black man sitting down, and he's telling them the truth about how he killed somebody, or how him and his buddies killed somebody. Does that dude that they're interrogating, does he get to go free home? No. They give him a life sentence too. They take everything he says and use it against him, right? So don't think because this Edomite
and then graduates to become a slave. And we're not that far away from that. Slavery only ended, a century and a half ago, a little more.
Don't think because he's doing this, he's a good guy. No, prophecy said he would do this. Doesn't fucking matter. He's going to go into slavery too. Psalm 64 verse 8. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So this is going to be a short lesson, man. We hate these motherfuckers the same way that they hated us, but we hate them for the right reason. I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rukagadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and the Shalom. To the elect brothers taking this lesson, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding them to the supper of Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.